ended it.
Oh, there it is. Oh, sorry. I went in the wrong link. My fault.
No, that was the, I'm sorry, that's the other one.
Zoom International Guide. Let me try this.
Shauna's in. Oh, cool.
I'm getting, let's see, join a meeting. I'm getting Zoom International Dial numbers.
Okay, hold on. Let me change that and send you a better link.
Thank you.
Zoom.
Hey everybody, it's Maurice.
Come on. And I'm going to need to disconnect my video with you, but hold on.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Try this. Try that. All right. There we are. All right. Hi, Marcia. Hi, Maurice. Hi, Shauna. Linda Folsom, is that your last name?
Oh, Shift Command A. Shift Command.
I think you just muted yourself.
Okay, yeah, let's see. So, yes, Linda is my first name. Folsom is my last name.
Awesome, Linda. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Shauna. Yes.
Thank you.
How's everybody this morning or afternoon? It'll be afternoon in 1 minute.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you see me now?
I can see you. Yes.
Wow. I've actually learned how to do this.
Excellent.
About freaking time.
Hi, Richard. Okay, somebody is knocking at me.
I know Stephen from our group is planning to join.
Okay, great. Let me see if I can find.
Papa, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hi. Okay. I am trying to get Melissa Roughton on this, so hang on 1 second. All right, let's see if I can get that done.
Does everybody know how to turn on their chat in Zoom?
It's at the bottom. Hi, Marcia. Marcia, I. Okay, Richard. B21 director, who is that, please?
Me, Luz Sanchez.
Oh, hi, Luz. How are you? Hi, Steve. Now you're on the ocean. Very interesting. Okay, Marco, good to see you again. Okay, this is going to be a call to discuss the functionary roles in a virtual contest. Rules have changed. We are bending many rules to make them work better for virtual contests than we would if we were all together in the same room. And so this is what we're going to be talking about. I am open to suggestions of changes. I have been flexing during the last 2 calls because of very good ideas. And we have some new members on this call. Hi, Joyce. And we are going to take all ideas and share them among ourselves. And in the end, and before next Saturday, we will have a really good working idea for a virtual contest. Okay, who is 661-600-6348? You're on the phone? I'm sorry, who is?
It's Melissa, CirceD.
Oh, hi, there you are. Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, you're on your phone, so I couldn't tell. Hi, Patrick. Hi, Albert. Hello, Stephen.
Ya me tomé el café, mamá. ¿Qué?
I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Welcome to the functionary call for virtual contests. I want to share with you the information that I got from from World Headquarters regarding contests in this season of health information. The World Headquarters has decided that all districts across the world can hold virtual contests for their meetings. They are not aware that all of our venues shut down, and they weren't aware until Marcia actually told them that, Marcia Bruce Bush, and they were just helping all the districts in the world figure out how to meet in light of the coronavirus. With that, District 52 put into place a rather innovative and interesting process with the help of all of the area directors and district directors and the trio and volunteers. We have come up with a strategic plan to get a contest off the ground for the benefit of contestants and for moving forward according to what World Headquarters is basically saying. We are moving forward. They are still planning on having a convention in August. They are still planning on districts to conduct an in-person spring conference or annual conference in May. None of that has changed. How that might change over time, I don't know, but as things become changed, I will let you know. As many people as I possibly can, I will let know. I will probably send out emails fairly frequently from the constant contact, so please remember that you're getting them. They're not spam. Read them quickly and get the information that you need, and then share it with people who might not have gotten the email. It's people that might need that information. That being said, I want to talk about the difference between a virtual contest and an in-person contest for those of you that are on the call. When we're in person, everybody shows up, the contestants, the functionaries, they all show up in the same room, and we have these little small breakout sessions talking about things like your speaking order for a contestant, the timers get briefed, the judges get briefed, and the contest master and the chief judge normally handle that information. In this virtual contest, since we're not in the same room, we're going to be handling those briefings differently. One of the major changes is that the briefings for contestants will be held on calls like this prior to the contest, not during the contest. The only portion of the briefing that will happen just before the contest begins is the choosing of speaking order. Now, for me, there were some things that I just needed to know. I needed to figure out how are we going to do this. And through the last 2 conference calls, we have come up with a very good plan, a very time-saving plan to choose the contest order. Maurice, are you still on? Where are you? Yes, Maurice.
Still here.
Would you please tell the group what you would be doing as contest master for the first contest that's being broadcast virtually?
All right, so just to let the format It is the F-62 contest will be taking place Saturday, March 21st with sign-in at 7:45. That is to take care of all audio and video issues. Then once that's all squared away, I'm going to go contest by contest and literally hold up a hat with the names of the contestants inside in front of the camera, and I will draw names right then and there. I will, just like a regular contest, I will repeat the names so that everyone could jot down the order, the speaking order for each contest. Once the speaking order is established, then we'll take care of the video and audio, and then go per speaker, and then that speaker will be the only video on. And then seriously, I think this is where you take over.
Right. So just so you know, we have decided to manually draw names out of a hat of all the contestants. So what happens if a contestant is not there yet? They have not signed in yet. Their name will still be drawn because they're on the list of contestants who are possibly going to compete. What happens then is, let's say I have 4 contestants, and contestant 1 through 3 are there, but contestant 4 hasn't arrived on video yet. I won't know if that contestant is having trouble with their video or just decided at the last minute not to join us. Unless I got word that that contestant is not joining, I have to assume that the only reason they're not on yet is a technical problem or a timing problem on their part. As in a physical contest, somebody stands in for that speaker. In this case, since one person, the contest master, is choosing names out of a hat, the person who's missing gets a position in the contest order anyway, even though they're not present. When the contest begins, we normally gavel in the contest. The sergeant at arms gavels in the contest and begins the contest. Everybody knows when the contest begins. The rule book says if a speaker's not present when we gavel in, they are disqualified. Automatically, they're not given an opportunity to compete. The same will go for this virtual contest. We will draw names, positions will be announced, people will write those positions down, judges will write them down, and they will have a speaking order. Once the rest of the business is taken care of and we know exactly what we're doing and everything's in place, we will begin the contest. The contest master now has a very minimal script. They will announce that the first contest, the humorous contest, let's say, the first contest will begin, and then they will say that they will start by introducing the first speaker. At that moment, that contest is gavelled in. If the speaker that was missing has arrived, they are eligible. If they have not arrived, they will be eliminated. Any questions about that process?
Just a quick point of order for these virtual contests. There is really no sergeant of arms because the contest chair will be taking care of that. We're trying to minimize the number of people involved with these Zoom calls.
Correct. So I'm going to use the term tech chair because on every Zoom call, there will be somebody who is hosting the Zoom call for the contest. That person is in charge of the technology that the contest is running under, the Zoom technology. Should somebody have an issue with their technology, whether it be a judge or a contestant or the contest master, that will be given to the tech chair through the chat in the Zoom. Now, chat is at the bottom of the bar in your Zoom. It says chat. If you open that up, you have 2 options. One is to chat to everybody, which I will strongly advise that nobody during the contest chats with everyone. But you pick a person in the list to chat with them privately. You just pick a name. I'm going to pick Albert for now, and I'm going to send Albert a message. You will notice that you, as a member of this chat, do not see my message to Albert. He can reply to me privately, and I would be the only one to see it. So in the contest, anyone using chat will be taught and advised to use the private chat and not the everybody chat. Okay? If you have a question about that, I am going to do some very detailed training videos on all the components of Zoom. We're going to go over some of those this afternoon, but for all of us on the call, I'm going to go through most of this stuff briefly, and we will have discussions about all of it, the questions you have, they'll be answered, but I'm also going to do training videos for all of you. The other thing that came up in my mind at first was, how does a speaker know when they are at the green, when they're at the yellow, and when they're at the red? Just like in a physical contest, we will have 2 timers. One timer will be writing down the time. They will be looking at their phone or stopwatch, timing the speech, paying close attention to that stopwatch, listening for the end of the speech, and writing down the end time on their sheet. That's all that timer will be doing. The other timer will be watching their clock, and as they get to the various times, 5, 6, and 7, they will have a card like this. And they will hold that card up in front of their video camera until the next color is needed to be brought forward. And they will do this. And then when the speaker hits 7 minutes, they will bring up this card in front of their monitor, and they will hold that card up until the speaker stops speaking. Just like in a physical contest, that's all this timer is doing, is holding those cards. The other timer is writing down the time that the speaker finishes. When the speaker finishes, the timer holding the cards can remove the cards from the screen. This is the only thing the timer's doing. That separates the duties. It also prevents a timer from doing this while they're trying to do 2 things at once. So we do need to have 2 timers. Plus, per the rules of the rule book, we require 2 timers. So that you know, the rules at the club level are very lax. The rules at the area, division, and district level are not. And that is one of the rules in the rule book, that we have 2 timers. One of the other things that we're adding to this technology is the tech chair will have cards, which I'm calling alert cards. The alert card, for example, I'm the tech chair on the morning call on Saturday. My timer will be on video. The speaker will be on video, and everybody else will have their video turned off. But let's say, as tech chair, I notice that I can no longer hear the speaker. I'm going to first hold up this card until the speaker sees it and stops. Then I will hold up this card telling them why I stopped them. Same thing goes for stopping them and saying something like this. Okay? When that happens, the contest comes to a stop. We make a decision as to whether or not to cancel this because something horrible happened, like there's no internet, or we have a big glitch, the judges can't hear, the speaker can't hear, nothing's going on, where we'd have to actually postpone the contest, or we do what's called in golf a mulligan, and we just start over. A contestant would take a couple of minutes, get their bearing, we solve the problem, whether it's audio or video, and then we move forward. Should a speaker lose connection where they can no longer do audio or video, there would be nothing we could do about that except to move on to the next speaker. This changes the order of things, and unless that speaker can resolve their audio and video problem, they would have to no longer be a contestant in that process. There is not a thing I could do about that to make that better, okay? It's not something I can fix remotely. I will be sending out a document to every single contestant and functionary on how to check your computer to make sure it's ready for this kind of transmission. There are two things everybody can do. If you have a Mac, I'll try and find out what the process is for that. But making sure that your computer is clean of temporary files and making sure your computer is not infected are two things that will make your experience on a video call much, much better. Any questions about the two things, the alert cards and or the timing cards?
I have a question.
Yes.
Have we thought about just postponing the whole thing so it's so not difficult for everyone to compete? Because we may lose a lot of real good speakers because they're not able to do this.
We have. We had a long discussion about that. The district could, in fact, cancel the contests, but World Headquarters has not. Therefore, if the district cancels the contest, every contestant who's willing to take us on this new journey of video conferencing would lose an opportunity to go forward. Now, granted, I understand the difference between delivering a speech in person and delivering it via video is different, but we have to flex. I personally cannot make a decision for every contestant in District 52 who wants to compete. Should this whole thing blow over by the end of March or the beginning of April, we would be back on track for in-person contests. But by then, we're into the division contest, so we have to try our best to do the area contests in March before it's beyond our time frame. We have area in March, and that's according to the rule book. We have division in April, and then we have the district contest in May. All contests, according to the World Headquarters rule book, need to be complete before June 1st.
Okay.
So we don't have any choice. If we're going to honor the desires of every contestant willing to compete, we have to move forward. And
Right.
moving forward means we have to do it this way for now.
Okay. Sounds good to me. I mean, I think it's going to be good anyway to learn how to do this. This is a great
It'll be interesting.
opportunity.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be interesting. Now,
Yes.
how many people on this call are competing? Dan, are you competing? Okay. Joyce, are you competing? Not. Okay.
I'm
Marsha,
competing. Shauna.
Shauna's competing. Okay. Luz, are you competing? No, your area. Okay. Marcia Bruce Bush, you're competing. I know you are. Maurice, I know you're not. Linda Folsom, are you competing?
I am not.
Okay, great. Stephen Cavallero, I already asked. Albert, I asked. Patrick Selway, are you competing? You're not, your area. Okay. Jorge's division or area. Okay, Rosanna's area. So mostly I have people on this call. I know that Alethea's competing. Mostly I have people on this call who are either acting as functionaries in your own contest or in another contest, or you are going to ask, you're going to be acting as a functionary role, possibly in another contest. With that being said, this is what I want to talk about next. How does a judge the contest, see the speaker, and make a good judgment as to who is best? In Zoom, you have two views of the people on this call. One is called a gallery view. The view I'm on right now is a gallery view. I see multiple tiles across the top, and I see 5 across the top and 4 rows down with 2 on the bottom. If I change that using the upper right corner, it says speaker view, because I'm in gallery view. I now see the person talking, which at this moment is me. And at the top of my screen, I see all the other participants. What happens there is the tech chair will turn off audio and video because they're not participating in the contest, they're only watching. The judges will turn off audio and video so they're not disrupting the speaker. The timers will turn off audio because they do not need to speak, they only need to show cards. But their video will remain working because they need to show whatever card comes up, right? They need to show that. The speaker that is slated to begin, the first speaker, will turn on their video, turn on their audio, put their view in speaker view. They can then decide to pin the video of the timers. So they're not looking at themselves, they're looking at the timer. And I'm going to do a training video showing people how to do that. When a video is pinned, it's the only view the speaker has in front of them. So they can see the timer cards and the timer's face, and they can pay attention to the screen and see what's going on. That way they are not losing out on any timing issues. There would be no reason for them to miss the card unless they are so into their speech that they're not paying attention to the video in front of them. Okay? So would everybody please test that? I need you to look at the top right corner. If it says speaker view, click on that. If it says gallery view, you're already in the speaker's view. Did anyone on this call have trouble switching to speaker view?
No.
On a phone, it doesn't have the same setup as you're describing.
Daniel,
Okay.
what I would suggest, Daniel, if I may suggest, see if you could turn your phone sideways so that it's landscape, so you have more real estate, and see if more stuff comes up. There you go. Oh, do you have more functionality now that you're on landscape?
I have it landscape and it's not.
You don't have more
No, I
options?
don't see
No.
it either. I don't see it.
No.
I
You
just see the
basically-
microphone, whether you can have the audio is on or off if you put it on.
Yeah.
But okay, so if I may, Joyce, Daniel, and Shawana, this is a functionary call. What functions do you have in the upcoming contest regime? Joyce, what about you?
I had been asked to be a functionary before it went to
Virtual, I understand.
virtual. So I'm
What
not
position?
sure if I will be. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I
Okay.
need
What were you asked prior? Were you a timer? Were you a ballot counter? What was your function?
Chief Judge.
Okay, thank you so much. What
Okay.
about you, Daniel?
I am calling strictly for information.
I'm sorry?
I have no function.
Yeah, no
Oh.
function. Thank you. Shawana, what's your function in these contests?
I'm putting on the contest.
Okay.
Okay, then again, as a contest chair,
Well, no, I'm just making sure we get it done. I'm area governor or area director for
I
10.
understand that, but we have to understand that we're trying to keep the participation to a minimum. So it's going to be, as we said earlier, if you don't mind, seriously, it's just going to be the contest chair, the chief judge, the judges, the ballot counters, the 2 timers, and the contestants only.
Right,
So
but the 2 ballot counters and
2
the
ballot
chief
counters.
judge will not be on the main
Okay, sorry
contest.
about
I'll
that.
talk about that in just a minute.
So
Okay.
the reason
Okay, so I guess I won't be doing anything then.
no. Well, you could be on. You could be on it just with the video off if you want to view it. But the reason I just bring this up, I just want to put everyone at ease that again, if you do not have a pure function, you don't really have to participate. If you want to visit and view, yeah, by all means, like you're doing now, Shawana. I see you're on there, but the video is not there, so you're not interfering. So
Right.
the only thing about toggling is the second timer, which is the card timer, because they have to make sure that they can get up there, and as well as the contestant must know how to pin, whether they want to pin themselves so they can watch themselves, or pin the timer so they have a nice big screen for the timing cards. So I just want to put everyone at ease about this whole being technical or not. It's not really, you don't really have to do too much, but based upon your function, yeah, you may have to know this toggle or that toggle. That's all.
Okay. So, Alethea, I see that you are slated as timer for area F62. This is going to be tricky because this is the timing card for the timer.
Maria, just to let you know, Maria is going to be the, Alethea is the timer,
Right.
and Maria is going to be the card holding timer.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we've already assigned that.
Okay, Maria, do you have, because I can send you a file that you can print these like this, but if you don't have them, I need to get this set of cards to you so that you have them for your timing job. They have to look like this so they're all the same, okay? So I need to, I know Maria just lost connection.
Maria, she's locked. All right, let me text her. So yeah, Maria just showed me she does have cards. The only thing is she's got to print those words on the cards. That's
Okay,
all.
I will
So
send the file to print the words on the cards. That would be great.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Could you send a schedule for when you have to trainings for Zoom? I got the email about the Zoom in last minute. Okay, yes. This set of Zoom calls was very last minute. I actually only expected 2 people on the call, so I'm very grateful to see so many of you. This is very, very good for me. But there are a lot of people who are not on the call. And there will be more Zoom calls, more training, more opportunities. So you can entrust me with that. There will be more. Now, let's talk about the differences and more of the differences between a virtual and a physical contest. I have talked with Richard Dixon and Melissa Roughton about being my official chief judge. Those chief judges will be in private rooms that are not connected to the contest Zoom call. They will be waiting for the contest to end and judges to send them votes. The chief judge will be going from one Zoom call to the other, one to pick up the private chats or private electronic transmission of the votes so that they can then calculate, count the votes with the ballot counters in another Zoom call, completely separate call. What I do not want in this contest is to have anything be mistaken during this. I don't want the contestants or the judges or the chief judge to be accidentally sending information across the Zoom call that indicates who voted for who. We want to make sure that everybody's privacy and the winners and all of that is still very, very secure. So to do that, I talked to, hang on, Patrick, you have a question? Or a comment?
Yeah, I just whenever one of the, I guess it's, I feel a little confused, and if there's a link to all the recordings of these calls, so I kind of can catch up. Is that going to be made available?
Yes, they will be made available. The first one is already, I believe, somewhere on YouTube or somewhere. I'll make sure everybody has that link. I'll post it on the contest page for District 52 so that it's not out there. I posted one of the videos up on District 52, and someone who's not a Toastmaster or not in District 52 saw it and made a comment, and I removed the 2 comments. So I will make sure that we have access to them, and the links will be on District 52.
CirceD, this is Rosanna. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I apologize. I missed the recording yesterday because I was at a workshop. But some thought came to my mind, and I know it's disruptive right now because we're discussing a whole different format. But I was wondering if district has ever considered the speakers to do a video recording of their speeches wherever they feel convenient, and post it either on YouTube or create a link whereby judges can go and view those videos and submit their comments as opposed to a live speech.
Okay, so that's already been answered by World Headquarters. We received a document that outlines the rules for a virtual contest. They have not said all of us can do video speaking. There are some districts in the world who have been allowed to do what you're referring to, which is a taped copy of their speech for judging. This is not something that's been opened up to everyone, just to those undistricted clubs that are out in the middle of nowhere and they can't all be together. All they did was shift from a physical location to a virtual one, and they made rules inside this document that we have to adhere to, okay? So if we're going to run a contest, it has to be live audio and video. It cannot be recorded. That's not something we can change.
Okay, and on that note, may I ask if all those sessions are being recorded so we can send to specific functionaries, or we can rewatch it again if needed?
Yes, I will have those available. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
CirceD, are you saying that judges will be able to rewatch the video before they are voting?
No.
Okay,
They
good.
are watching the audio and the video live, placing their votes, and sending the first, second, and third place winner information to the chief judge.
Excellent, thank you. My question is actually about the timers. I am a timer for the Division F contest.
Mm-hmm.
How are we to submit the timing report?
There's 2 ways. There, you can take a picture of it on your phone and send it to the chief judge, and that information will be given to all of the people that need it. Or you can send a file right through Zoom to that individual, and that individual will receive it. You can do it either way. But the file, the actual sheet that has the time on it needs to be photographed by your phone and then sent, because we can't have a situation where somebody says, this timer wrote the time down in the chat. We want to have the time that's written on the paper sent to the chief judge.
Not a problem, understood.
Okay.
I have a question regarding the tech chair.
Yes.
You said that that person would be available online via video chat. Would we also have access to that person by phone or by text in case getting through the chat is not available?
Sure. Yes, the tech
Great.
chat, the tech chair will have the ability to receive text messages from people. Yes. Now,
As well as, and I understand now, as well as the chief judge, correct?
correct.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Those little pieces are part of the technology background that we have to work out the details for. It's already apparent to me that we have to flex in everything we've decided. We have to make a flex and go a different way because either it's not fair or it doesn't work for everyone. And the bottom line is we want this to work for the largest number of people. The only things that I cannot control, and no tech chair could, is if the video or audio at the contestants end is failing. There's no way. So I'm going, as a computer person, I'm going to send out information to everyone how to optimize their computer so that they can make sure it's ready for this. There's a program that's free, easy to run. I'm going to show everybody how to do it, and then you'll have the tools you need to make sure your computer is ready to make this transmission. Secondly, the reason we're opening the contest up 15 minutes before it officially begins with the business of counting who's starting, who's doing what, is that 15 minutes is going to afford the tech chair to make sure that the contestants and the judges have made a connection to Zoom and that there are no issues. Okay?
I have a question.
Yes.
We have not yet thought of discussing protests.
No, we have not. Protests will be done exactly the same way they're always done, and that is the person making the protest, and there's only a few people in the room that have that ability according to the rules. One, a speaker can protest another speaker's speech for not being 75% original. It cannot be less than, it can't be more than 25% somebody else's material. So your speech could get contested by somebody else, especially in the humor area, I would think, where you're talking and you're basically repeating something you either heard or saw, and you're just repeating it verbatim, or at least most of it. Another speaker could contest that as a contestant not following the rules. The other option is timers and ballot counters. Timers can contest with the chief judge the winner. If the chief judge announces 3 winners, third, second, and first, but the timer knows because they took the time down that one of those 3 was disqualified for time, the timer can protest the announcement of the winners. It is because we're in virtual, it is my suggestion that the chief judge send the 3 winners to the timers to verify that there's no discrepancy, then send it to the contest chair. That way there's that check and balance. The third group of people are the ballot counters. The ballot counters and the chief judge are counting the votes together. The ballot counters know who got the most votes, who got the second most votes, and who got the third most votes. So they have the authority to stop the announcement as well. Should something happen where the contest chair reads the order of the winners backwards, where the first place winner is actually read as third, or more importantly, the third place winner, who's normally announced first, is announced as the real first place winner, the ballot counters can stop the contest. They can stop it cold, wait. So the ballot counters need to have a direct connection to the tech chair because they're not in the room. They just know that this announcement is being made. I will want that announcement myself because as tech chair, I would be able to tell the contest master to stop. Because once an announcement is made and it's completed, that is official. So it's happened. It happened in a physical arena. It can happen virtually. The chief judge has the winners, first, second, and third. It's in reverse order on the results form. Those results are sent to the contest chair, who's going to announce the winners. That's part of the rules. If the contest chair looks at the list and reads it backwards, somebody has to know that it's backwards. And so if the chief judge sends the form to me or the tech chair and sends it to the contest chair and sends it to the ballot counters and sends it to the chief judge, has it, or wait a minute, chief judge is sending it to these people. There are going to be ways to determine that something went awry. This change can happen immediately. The contest is stopped. We put ourselves in a chat. We mention what's wrong. We get back to the contest and we fix it. Okay, it's not exactly as dynamic as it is in person, but it is very doable. Hopefully that won't happen because the announcement of the winners, the counting and the announcement of the winners will be done by 3 people, not by 1. Those people know who's supposed to be announced. I would want the announcement of the winners to be known by somebody other than the chief judge. So that's why I'm adding in the contest master and the tech chair.
Question.
Yes.
You haven't addressed protest for originality.
Yes, I did. That was the first thing I said. When a contestant does a speech that is less than 75% original, another contestant can stop that contestant from winning by protesting.
Yes, and that also includes judges. Those are the only other ones that can protest. But I'm asking, what is, how do you plan the discussion, the facilitation by the chief judge? Is it going to be in another room? What?
Okay, so yes, should that happen, we would take the judging, we'd have to postpone it. We'd have the room still open because we can't end this contest till a winner's announced. The speaker in question, the chief judge, and the judges would all join a Zoom call, which is not hard. We'll just have one in the ready. They'll join a Zoom call and they will discuss what the protest was about. And that is the only way we could do that because we couldn't do it in front of everybody. We just can't. So we'd have to have a Zoom call with those people. It'll take a few minutes. It will create more time for the contestant and the other contestants and the people in the room. But it is absolutely necessary. Yes. Any other questions?
Circe, you have set up a co-host now. You'll be a co-tech chair.
I haven't done that yet. I'm going to assign somebody the secondary hosting. I'll just tell them, it will just set them up in the Zoom call so that and the reason for that is if my internet went down, I don't know if the contest would cut off in a certain period of time or if it would cut off immediately. So I will assign someone else who is on the call to be the co-host. Okay, probably the contest chair, somebody else, so that there is a second internet connection just in case. Okay. All right, anybody else?
Yes, I'd like to ask, okay. I just want to remind Steve to turn off his sound when he's done.
Oh, thank you. Okay. That takes care of the timing, takes care of the ballot counters. But what about the judges? We need 5 judges and 1 tie-breaking judge for every contest at area and division. 5 and 1. That means I need 5 people who are willing to get onto a virtual call, watch a speaker, make their votes, write down their ballot, pick the winner, and submit that winner to the chief judge. The winners, first, second, and third. Okay? I don't know if you have judges in place already, but I need those judges' names because I need to train them on how to do that. It's not the same as some of the other functions in a virtual contest. They have to submit this judging, the bottom of their judging form and their signature to the chief judge. So we have to talk about, can you take a picture with your phone? Can you email it to the chief judge? Is this something that you're technically able to do? We need that information before a contest can even get off the ground. So I have F62 tentatively scheduled for Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning. If I have 5 judges and a tie-breaking judge, 2 timers, 2 ballot counters, I have a chief judge, we can have a contest. Because I already know I have a contest master. So I need that information before we can start. It's also my desire to do more than 1 contest this coming Saturday. I don't know who's going to be ready to do that. I'm not sure if any other areas can put their pieces together by then, but the more contests I can do on each upcoming Saturday, the better. We also talked about the potential of having evening classes, after work contests for downtown clubs and or for clubs that prefer that over a weekend. So we have that in place as well.
Jersey?
Yes.
It's Maurice. Just to be sure, for the contest chairs, so what we need to provide to you for these area contests is, if I may repeat, you would need a listing of the chief judge, a total of 6 judges.
Wait a minute, no, pause. Chief judge is already handled.
Okay, thank you. That's okay. So, okay. All right. So then what, I need to provide 6 judges unless the district is going to make a panel. So 6 judges, 2 timers, 2 ballot counters, and the contestants. Is that correct?
5 and 1, 2 ballot counters, 2 timers, and their contest. Yes.
So that's the list I need to provide as the contest chair. Is that correct?
Yes. Now, I can't promise that the district is going to come up with a consistent group of ballot counters or judges. I can't promise that because I'm not sure who in District 52 isn't competing and is willing to do this. Okay. But the more of you that volunteer, the more of you that get other people to help you out, the better we are. The faster we'll go, the faster we'll move through all the areas that need to have contestants competing. So, okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say, if anybody's having technical computer problems, and I know seriously you can't do everything, so I'd like to just—
I can't?
Well, it's just such a hard problem. If you're having people want to participate, yet they're having technical problems, I can help with any one of, and we have so many people that may want to do this. So even that's becoming a problem because any one of these solutions takes time to resolve. But I want to be able to help anybody who thinks they have either viruses or pop-ups or don't know how to turn on background applications or connectivity issues. Wi-Fi's in our houses are notorious for dropping connections. Perhaps we can connect directly to the internet router and have the connection stable. But any of these could help if we do it prior, just not find out during the contest time.
Yes.
And I can make myself available to help anybody who thinks they may need help.
We will post on District 52 the people who have volunteered to be technical advisors as well, so that you have access to them. We have if I can get somebody, if I can get two people who are not busy, that's hard, not busy, and
That's funny.
are interested in doing this consistently throughout the contests, I would love it if I always had the same 2 ballot counters. I already have commitments from 2 people to be chief judge. It's hard because we're going to have multiple contests, but these people have said yes. If I have a 3rd person, that'll take the burden off of that, but still, that's in place. I have a commitment from Marco, myself, and Lawrence Caseta to be technical people. What I do need, I cannot have the same judges go all the way through the contests for 2 reasons. Number 1, the rule book says you can only be a judge so many times, but it also says that you can't judge a contest that you have a relationship with one of the contestants. Oh, that's what, okay. Judy said, would anyone be interested in convening at my office for the contest? That means you would show up at her office and do your speech from that office, or you could be a judge. Now, Judy, I do want to talk about the fact that we're doing this to keep people separated from one another. So that's a consideration. If you say yes to her, you have that as a consideration. There may be a couple of, challenges there. There is, let's see, I need, hopefully, ballot counters that will repeat throughout contests, maybe not every single contest, but perhaps have a set of ballot counters that's there available for a single Saturday or half a day on Saturday, and then another set for the other half of the day. Reason for that is they already know the process, they already know how to do it, they already know what it takes to make this happen, okay?
CirceD.
Yes.
What I'm thinking is the 21st, since you guys are blazing in, that could be used as a proof of concept.
Yes.
And if we can watch it, then everybody should, can schedule their contest the week after and, take best practices from it.
Okay, awesome. Yes, I agree with that totally.
Now,
Okay.
if I may, Patrick, I want that to happen, but then seriously remember, again, about this tile size. If everybody's checking in, even with their video off, and this is what I meant this morning about the tile size, I want everybody to witness the F62 contest so they could see how easy this is. But somebody this morning said that the more people that sign in, the tiles get smaller. Now, I have not experienced that. I could have 100 people on here. My tile size, I'm on speaker view right now. I see you, CirceD. My tile size along the top has not changed. They have not gotten smaller.
That's
again,
why we're going to be doing speaker view for everyone that needs to be on video.
So then I invite everyone to join us on Saturday, March 21st at 7:45 a.m. And as I said, I'm putting a call out there. If anybody wants to help out to be a judge or a ballot counter, let me know in the chat. All right. So
Okay.
Everyone's invited.
When you have speaker view, you see the person talking or the person who has their video active. In speaker view, for example, if Linnea was the first contestant, she would be on the screen. Everybody else would be on a row of tiles, either on the right-hand side or across the top. So you would see the speaker full screen. If you are a judge and your video is not on, you will be one of those tiles across the top of your screen, and the speaker you're watching is in the middle of the screen. Should the contest need to be stopped, the tech chair can stop that person and then bring their video on and show that card and be in front of them so we can stop the contest. The speaker, and I'm going to do some training. The speaker can pin the timer video. So what they see on their end of the video is the timer. They don't see themselves, they just see the timer. That keeps the contestant front and center to their timing and not watching themselves. I think that it would be less awkward for a speaker than watching themselves. I need to mention, because I have people on this call who are speakers, I need to mention that your view as a speaker is waist up. You need to check your video and make sure you're backed away far enough from the video camera so that everybody who sees you is seeing you waist up. Also, for any contestants you interface with and talk to, there are other rules. One is you may not sit while delivering your speech. You must be standing in front of your video camera, just like you would at a physical contest. You cannot sit and deliver this contest speech. You also may not have notes or cheat sheets or cards in front of you at any time during your contest. There's no way for us to know that you're doing that unless one of the people observing you notice that you look down all the time at something. If you do that, we will probably have to come up with something that says a speaker is disqualified for reading their talk, or they automatically, the judges know that if you notice a speaker reading, that they discount them on delivery, because there is a point section for delivery. Somehow, some way that has to be followed. Contestants need to follow the same integrity rules that they would follow if they were to deliver a contest speech in person. So we'll have that in place, and speakers will sign an agreement saying that they understand they're to have their view from the waist up, and they're not to have notes in front of them for their contest. Because there are a lot of ways, I'm sure you guys can figure this out, there's a lot of ways for a speaker to cheat the system that way. It isn't a good idea. I don't recommend it, but I want you to know that we're going to have you sign an agreement as a contestant that will not be done. Okay? All right. Can you announce this to your clubs next week? I belong to 2 clubs and they should know. Yes, yes. Props. Because your video camera needs to be on you at all times, if you are a person delivering a talk with props, you need to make sure that the props do not require that you pick something up out of camera view with your whole body moving away from the camera. In a physical location, people would see you move to do that. I was at a contest a week ago Saturday, and there was a person who moved back to the lectern to get props and then back to his speaking area. That would move that speaker in a virtual contest away from the video. If a person is picking up something off the floor, their whole body could disappear. If their video's from waist up, their body could disappear and then they come back. That could be disconcerting to the judges. Remember, one of the voting segments for the talk has to do with use of speaking area. It's not really a big point loser, but it will take away from your contest points if you move outside of the video call. Okay. I suggest, yeah.
Question. Can we have like a training for all the speakers to come on so that they can really understand how to do this?
It depends on how much time I have.
Okay, I mean, like, just plan it where we can do it at least an hour, at least give them a training on how to do this.
What I'm going
We had
to
it this morning.
Yeah,
We had one this morning.
For all the speakers, all the
I did have a contestant training this morning, and a lot of them were on it, and I will have another one.
Did Swati come on, Maurice?
No.
I did not see her. Is she,
Yeah, that's because we didn't know anything about it.
Okay.
I didn't have it in my.
I actually sent the Zoom calls to all of you. Shawana, you got one.
I got this one. That's why I called.
Yeah. But you
It
got
was, on,
the
it
other
was in
one
CirceD's,
about,
it was in CirceD's email as an attachment.
yeah, there
Okay,
was,
but I mean, all of our speakers, the winners, we should have them on the calls, or we should make sure they're on the calls.
my promise to you is the training I gave this morning, it was 2 hours and 15 minutes, will be available to watch,
Okay.
but I also will call another contestant call shortly. Okay.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so I'll look out for that.
Yeah.
Because
They,
Wadi's one of the winners in our group, and then we have a couple of winners in Burnt as well.
yeah, the contestants need this information.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that the 2 hours and 15 minutes call was, a lot of it was giving me feedback and learning what works and what doesn't for contestants. So the next ones I do will be a lot more concise. They'll be more, you know, they'll be shorter, but, and they will be just the highlights. But the
So you'll
video
know,
will be the
basically
full
what they're
2
looking
hours.
for. Okay, good. Okay.
Okay.
So they'll have all the questions. They'll have all the questions and answers in that 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So I have a question about that. If a contestant does not participate in a contestant briefing, can they speak?
Yes, as long as they show up with, just like in the rule book, if they show up, they've turned in their paperwork, they show up to have the their name, you know, their speaking order, and they show up on time, yes, they can.
Okay, next question. About moving out of the screen area when you're speaking. There's no disqualification for that, only a possible loss of points.
That is correct. Absolutely. I just want to warn people that on video, you might do that inadvertently and not know it. Especially if you have pinned the timer view and you're not looking at yourself. You will not know that you moved out of view. So you should practice. Everybody should practice in front of their webcam with their speech and see how that works out. And I'm going to recommend that.
How come I don't see anything at the top of the page? All I see is the volume and leave. I'm on my cell phone though.
You're on the phone, that's why. We haven't figured out that. I have to look at a Zoom call on the phone. I'll have to make up a new visitor and join a call and test that and do some screenshots.
I would recommend for functionaries, please, either a tablet, a laptop, or a desktop. Even Lawrence said that on an Apple product, be it an iPad or an iMac book, that there's a lot more functionality. So for functionaries, if you can, tablet, laptop, or desktop.
Right.
And that's my question about contestants too. They would they really compete over the phone?
I would, yes. You know what, Marsha, I agree with you. So I would try. That would be my advisement. But again, it's dependent upon people's equipment. Shawana, you had a question for me?
Yeah. So how would you do it? It seemed like you would know how to do that on the cell phone.
Well,
how do you see the screens?
No.
That you're
Well,
speaking on?
first off, I'm going to say I'm not on my cell phone. I'm on my desktop, so I have a big piece of real estate that I could play around with, and I got plenty of room. So I'm gonna take what Marcia said. I think everyone participating in this contest to do their best. The minimum is a tablet, the next is a laptop, and the best is a desktop. And again, most equipment, and we're working with some people that do not have webcams. Most of these already have, in particular, laptops have built-in cameras. And I'm going to really suggest for the contestants to use their laptops because it's portable. They can move it around their room, so they can put it in a spot. Don't worry, and we already talked about this. Don't worry about your background. Just worry about that you could be seen from the waist up, and you have a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right of you. And now that, again, we're going to talk about this with the contestants. I would pin, and don't get all caught up with the jargoning, I would pin the timer with the cards to my laptop. If I was a contestant, I would pin that person's video. Why? So that I don't want to see myself. I know where the camera is, but I want to see nice and big red, green, yellow, and red.
I can see that, Maurice.
Okay. As contestants, for the few of you that are on this call that are contestants, practice with your video camera. Do that for yourself because you're going to know what works and what doesn't and where your glitches are. Then I expect that you should reach out to Marco or myself to discover what could be done to fix whatever you are encountering, because there are fixes. Like I said, I promise I will do some video training for Zoom, for contestants, for functionaries, how to chat, how to pin, how to make your screen look the way it's supposed to, so that you have the best possible experience. I had an interesting thing happen 2 days ago. I received a message that District 2 had done this, and they had fun doing it, and they had they made all kinds of mistakes, and they had a task force that was doing all of this stuff. So I waited, and last night I got an email from the person who was doing that. I have to say, District 52 is moving forward faster and better than anybody else, because we are considering all of these pieces independently. Here are the rules. This is what we need to consider. Here are the rules. Here are the contestants. If I were a contestant, what would I want? These are the kinds of attitudes we have as a district. Right now, it's all for the contest. It's all to make this contest experience, whether it be virtual or in person, the contest be consistent, area to area, division to division, so that every contestant in every contest gets the same measure of fairness and ability to deliver their best work. That's my plan. I don't have any reason not to accept ideas from people. Anybody's idea is getting considered, because we are developing probably the best virtual contest out there. We're documenting it. It will be available to everyone who wants to do this later or needs to do this later. But we, as a district, care about our contestants in a way that we are doing our best to produce a wonderful contest virtually. So if you have an idea, if you have someone that you know that can help, if you have something that you know will make this even better than what we've talked about already, please share. Send me a message. I'll be in contact with all the people helping us make decisions. Please share those ideas. It's the only way to make this the best ever. If you have concerns, I don't care what they are, you're people, you know how you feel. If you have concerns, please share those as well, because in all the calls I've had so far, the concerns have helped me change my mind. I went from just showing this to showing this because of 2 calls. I found out that some people are colorblind and they can't tell the difference between red and green. Well, if that's the case, how are they going to know that this means they're at the minimum unless it says this? We had a version in between that was a little confusing. It was cute, but it was confusing. And we stopped that. We did something else. The alert cards, same thing. How would we know to get a note to someone that they need to stop doing what they're doing? We have to start over because something very awful happened and we can't give you the best possible experience. We had to have that in place. We didn't know we had to have that when we started the calls, but because of somebody's idea, somebody's concern, we developed that as well. So it matters. You matter to us and how this contest comes off. So let us know. I know that Maurice is very brave to have F62 be the first contest. He has 4 contestants, 2 humor, 2 international. I'm hoping to get somebody else to step up and say, my contestants are ready and we want to be on Saturday as well, and we'll move forward there. I have 2 Zoom accounts. I have the ability to literally do 8 contests on Saturday if I have all the work prepared. So let me know. Keep me informed. Let me help you move forward. I want to thank everyone for being a participant in this brand new venture, and for everyone who's offered to help. Marco, thank you for volunteering to help people with their computer issues. Thank you, Judy, for offering your office as a place for people to go if they just cannot do their contest in their location. They can't compete because of whatever, too much noise, children, spouses, people interrupting. That is awesome. It's going to be okay. We are going to get through this. It may break before April, and we may be back to physical locations, but I can't guarantee that. So we need to move forward as if this will be the only kind of contest we have all the way to district, okay? So thank you. If there's anybody else that has a question or a concern, let me know.
I have a question.
Hang on one second. Maurice first.
If I may, Steve has a question, and I need to be versed on this as well. Steve is asking, how do the ballot counters receive the ballots from the judges? Can you do a quick synopsis of that process? The speaker finishes, we're in 1 minute of silence. What happens next?
Okay.
And then also the indefinite amount of silence.
The judges will have their phone. We have to make sure that every judge has a phone that can take a picture. They will take a picture like this of their ballot. I'm going to do this one. They will then send this file to the chief judge. Okay? That file being sent to the chief judge, they'll have the chief judge's email. They will send it to the chief judge. The chief judge will acknowledge that they got it. Then that process, that judge to chief judge, is complete. The chief judge will send all the ballots to the 2 ballot counters. All of them, okay? So all 3 of them have all the ballots. Then the ballot counters will take turns. One of them will read, one of them will tally, then they'll reverse, the other will read, the other will tally. The chief judge overseeing that entire process. The tallies get checked and double checked. The chief judge will announce to the 2 ballot counters, this is what I see. This person is 3rd, this person is 2nd, this person is 1st. Is that correct? If that's correct, the chief judge will send their results to the contest master and a secondary person, which I'm going to make the tech chair, so that when the announcement is made, that announcement will match what we see on the results form. That way, if it has to be stopped because somebody goofed, we will know. Does that make sense?
So if I may, so let's run through it. So speaker 1 goes, we do 1 minute of silence so they could do that particular person.
Right.
Then the second, and then what all the judges need to do is actually take a picture of the bottom of their ballot where it says 1, 2, and 3. If I understand it correctly, they text that photo to the chief judge. The chief judge then texts that photo to his 2 ballot counters as well. So there's 3 people looking at the same thing. Correct. They make a tally, and then the 3 of them, the 2 ballot counters and the chief judge says, okay, I have this as 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. When they all agree to that, somehow it gets to the contest chair, and then we can announce the winners, and then we can move to the next contest. Am I close?
You're very close. In fact, the chief judge will have an email or text of the contest chair. And so his results will be sent to him or her, the contest chair, and to the tech chair for that secondary level of verification.
Got it. And if I can answer, Sean is asking about this unfair advantage. Well, we according to the TI rules, it's a stationary camera. So if we see a camera moving, well, then it's up to the chief judge to be aware that this camera is moving and following the speaker, and then it's up to the chief judge to make the decision to disqualify that speaker or not.
Right. The camera cannot, that's a very good point. The camera can't move. It has to be stationary. That's a contestant rule, like standing not reading, and webcam seeing the top of you. It has to also be stationary. So thank you.
Okay, so someone can't hold the camera as you're speaking.
No.
and
You
just
can't
follow-
use your phone, for example,
Well,
and
wait.
video yourself.
Well, just Shawana. Yes, somebody could hold the camera, but they got to be static. They got to be standing still.
Right, they can't move. Like
That's
when you
fine.
move to the right, you move all the way to the right with them. You can't do that.
That,
Which
right,
I
the
think
camera-
if you guys really think about it, I think it's probably fair if a person could move the camera, because if we were speaking out in front of an audience, we would move all around.
Shawana-
We wouldn't really just.
Shawana, then I have to,
Yes,
if I may,
yes, sir.
I have to, sorry to interrupt you. Then that opens up a whole can of worms, because what if somebody lives by themselves, the whole family is out, and they're working on their laptop? So we gotta level the playing field.
Yep.
According to TI, it's
Okay.
a static camera.
Yep.
You establish.
That makes sense. That
you
makes
establish. Okay.
Circe, expect more enrollment in membership in Stage Masters. It's time for everyone to learn how to speak on the red dot.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
exactly.
want to ask, when is your class, Circe? Or is it due today?
Second Saturday of every month.
Is it today?
No,
Is your
second
class today?
second Sunday of every month, and it was last Sunday.
Okay.
And we're postponing a couple of meetings because of Mother's Day and something else. I don't remember what. So check our schedule, Shawana.
Okay, I will, Shauna.
Okay, now,
Can I ask, can I ask
anybody
one
else have, Linda, yes.
Just going back to the ballot counters. So you've got the 2 ballot counters that are going to be together working on this count, reading and tallying. So will there be a separate Zoom call specific for the ballot counters, or will we just be making phone calls to each other?
No, it'll be a separate Zoom call. Richard, who's one of the chief judges, has a Zoom account that he will be using for 2 ballot counters and himself for every contest that he's chief judge. I will have either a free conference call or some other means for the ballot counters and any other chief judge that gets set up as a chief judge for a contest.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yes, it has to be a separate room, because if you think about it, they have to count privately. They can't accidentally count in front of somebody else, you know? So.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Question?
Yes.
This is Steve.
Yes, Steve, hi.
First of all, thank you for your massive amount of time, energy, and expertise. This wouldn't have been happen without you, so we're all following your lead.
Yes,
Thank you
yes,
very much.
yes. Thank you.
And the second,
You're
and the
fantastic.
next, in reference to Judy's offer to hold an office, could a contestant, a judge, and ballot counters and a contest chair all share that same camera?
No. No.
What separate? Who couldn't be there?
Ballot counters? The ballot counters can't be there.
Yeah,
Unless that office has 2 rooms, the ballot counters cannot be there.
Okay, how about a contest chair and judges?
Yeah, there's no reason they could be in the same room.
Contest chair and contestants.
Yes,
We're just excluding the ballot counters.
yes.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that because a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of situations that could come up that would limit someone with just, being separate. I mean, we are trying to have our social distance, but then again, I'm a social creature. I need connection and help with some of this stuff is way above my pay scale.
Yeah, it's all right.
But
Some of it's above my pay scale too. But what I'd like to know.
That's why we should be doing pathways.
What I'd like to express to everyone is Marco and I both have the technical expertise to help most contestants and functionaries through anything that happens, or they anticipate happening when they go test their equipment. We need to tell you guys we are available for that. So before the contest, I'm up early and I'm up late. Ask. Get me on a conference call. Show me how to do this myself. that is the kind of thing I want to hear from you. I don't know how to do this, but I want to be this person in the contest. Let me know. I'll help you out. We'll get you the skills you need to function in that role. So, but I do need to remind everyone that the contest needs to be fair to all the contestants. So we're trying our best to make it a fair, even playing field. And that's it. Every decision we make has to do with either the rule book or that action of being fair. One of the things I did not notice during any of the discussions that I read on the Toastmasters International Facebook group and on the different districts pages where they're doing this, they don't talk about that. It's my intention to make that priority 1. Priority 2 is the comfort level of everybody participating in the contest. That would be your functionaries, your contestants, the district officers who want to come in and watch the contest or actually play along and congratulate the winner. These things are really part of the contest experience. We all want a very good contest experience. The only difference now is it's not in one physical location. So let's make it happen. Let's make it happen the same way we would if we were all in person, because we will be back together soon. This will blow over, and we will be back to places where we can compete together, meet together, and possibly this virtual contest information will help clubs set up a virtual meeting for their clubs that have lost their venue. So it's going to help everybody.
Thank you, Circe. I got to run.
Okay, thank you, Shauna, for coming.
Aloha. Thank you so much for this call.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any comments, questions, or concerns? Okay. Alethea, I need to talk to you. I'll call you. I think I have your number. You want to be, I think you're a timer. I need to talk to you about F62. Okay?
Seriously.
Yes.
Could we send out a constant contact recruiting virtual functionaries?
As soon as I
could
have
be point
something,
person.
yeah, as soon as I have something written to what each functionary role will be and what they need, yes, we could do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm making notes after all these calls. I'm making notes and seeing if there's anything that I can add to my instructions for everyone. So.
Okay, good. Seriously, I captured what you spoke and I send that to you also, so you have it as a reference if that may be valuable. So
perfect. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
no
All right, meeting adjourned. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.